Start off with a news story that's moving the markets currently. Some comments from Janet Yellen at the Federal Reserve in the United States.
Yes, it was her first press conference as chair of the Federal Reserve, and she has already started to create waves in that role. Janet Yellen sent stocks tumbling after suggesting that interest rates in the United States could rise earlier than expected next year. Now, the Fed's officials now expect interest rates to reach around 1% by the end of 2015. Janet Yellen also announced another reduction of the bank's stimulus programme. It's been pumping money into the American economy by bond buying. It was $85 billion a month. That's being steadily reduced. It's now coming down by another $10 billion to $55 billion, with the stimulus expected to be tapered off entirely by autumn of this year. But as always with the Fed, they say that this winding down comes only with economic conditions improving.
The FOMC will base its ongoing assessment on a wide range of information, including measures of labor market conditions, indicators of inflation pressures and inflation expectations, and readings on financial developments.
So the message that the markets took from Janet Yellen was that interest rates are going up, and soon that sent gold prices lower and bond yields up. Over on Wall Street, it sent the stock market tumbling as well. Sharp losses at the moment that she was speaking, but things did recover slightly before the close. You can see the Dow Jones there down 0.7%, the biggest fall. One analyst saying that Janet Yellen's comments created a haze of uncertainty for investors. And that haze is casting a bit of a shadow over the Asian markets today as well. You can see the Nikkei in Japan and the Hang Seng in Hong Kong both down over 1%. The Kospi down almost 0.9% in Shanghai. Things looking slightly more positive. One share we're keeping an eye on for you today is the Chinese internet firm Tencent. Their shares in Hong Kong fell sharply on opening after reporting slowing growth in its messaging service WeChat. They've recovered slightly since, but they were down about 4% earlier on. They're down about 0.3% now.
OK, now over in the United States, the car maker Toyota is having to pay out quite a large sum over some safety problems. Yeah, we had some sketchy details of this yesterday at this time, but those things firmed up later on Wednesday. Toyota is to pay $1.2 billion to US authorities to resolve a criminal complaint over safety issues. The settlement includes an admission by the car maker that it misled American consumers about defects that caused cars to accelerate, even when drivers were trying to slow them down. Claire Murphy has the story.
Protecting its brand ahead of customer safety, Toyota has been handed down the biggest financial penalty ever in the US against a car company. The firm lied about a glitch in its acceleration pedal that was linked to 19 deaths in 2009. Accounts of unintended acceleration caused panic and eventually led to millions of vehicles being recalled.
We can say for certain that Toyota intentionally concealed information and misled the public about the safety issues behind these recalls. The $1.2 billion payment represents the largest criminal penalty imposed on a car company in the history of the United States. This is appropriate, given the extent of the deception carried out by Toyota in this case.
For years, Toyota did little more than change floor mats in response to complaints. Investigators say it treated a public safety emergency like a public relations problem. And company executives are not fully off the hook. Criminal prosecutions will be deferred for 3 years to monitor management's cooperation. Indeed, it seems transparency is thin on the ground in the car industry. Earlier this week, General Motors admitted that a faulty ignition switch in its models has been tied to at least 12 deaths. A recall only ordered last month, despite the problem having been identified a decade ago.
Look now at some of the day's other business stories, and we'll start with the Italian defence and aerospace group Finmeccanica, which has turned a profit for the first time in 3 years. It earned €74 million net profit last year after 2 years of massive losses. The company's CEO said a restructuring plan at the firm had helped restore credibility in its business. The low-cost airline EasyJet has confirmed its order for 135 Airbus planes worth around €12 billion. The deal was signed by the carrier's chief executive in Paris on Wednesday. The new A320 planes will begin to be delivered to the airline next year. France is EasyJet's second largest market after the United Kingdom. And the coffee chain Starbucks is seeking to double its market capitalization to $100 billion. The company is seeking it to expand its digital business, including offering customers a chance to pre-order their coffees via mobile app. It's also investing in the tea market, a $90 billion industry, including a new product, the Oprah Chai, unveiled by talk show host Oprah Winfrey at a shareholder conference on Wednesday.
I do love a cup of chai. I'm very much looking forward to...
Would Oprah sell you a cup of chai?
Potentially, yeah. I don't see the obvious link, but I'd be tempted to try that one out. Thanks very much, Stephen Carroll, with the business news here on Live from Paris. Time now for us to look to